Hello, everybody. I'm Harry J, and I've got something to say. Episode 6, that's a 5 and a 1. I'm very good at math. Episode 6. Today, we're going to delve into a particular producer. We're delving into one of the probably underappreciated producers, but one of the greatest because he's worked with the widest variety of people, and that is Mr. Todd Rundgren. These are all albums produced by Mr. Todd Rundgren. There's so many. I mean, I haven't even included like Cheap Trick and Laura Nero, and there's so many that are great, but I'm just picking out some of my faves. And there's going to be a couple of CDs. This is a vinyl kind of show, but there's a couple of CDs, and I didn't have the stuff on vinyl, and they're just so good that I had to include them. I apologize. All right, people. So we're going to get out of the box, start with just Todd himself. Todd produced all his own records. I mean, I'm going back to the NAS. And so, I love Back to the Bars. It's it's a live record. So we're starting with a live record. But man, it's got all the songs you want to hear on it. It's fucking amazing. He produced all his own stuff, and it all sounds great. You know what it sounds like. Back to the Bars. If you got to start somewhere that's not the NAS, you can start with the NAS, but if not, then you go for this one. Okay, and then we're going to go right to this, because this is a CD. We're going to go to Utopia Deface the Music. His band, Utopia. So we're getting Todd Rundgren's self stuff out of the way. The CD is amazing. I mean, Utopia is a great band. Beatles to prog rock. Just goes all over the place. This is kind of a very Beatles-esque. Like Todd trying to say, well, I could be the Beatles if I wanted. And so he put out this, and yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah. It's not as corny as the Ruddles, but it is as big a copy of the Beatles. It's great, though. It's really good. You should listen to it. All right. Next. He hooked up with this band, and this band was apparently not particularly happy with his production, but that didn't stop them from letting him do 2 records. Like the first one, they're like, I don't know how this sounds. By the way, the thing they said they didn't know how it sounded, if it was good, was Straight Up by Badfinger, which is one of the greatest records in the entire history of the goddamn world. This album is so good. I'm not even gonna it's nuts. Badfinger people, they like Wish You Were Here. Yes, they had an album called Wish You Were Here that was not the Pink Floyd album. Badfinger people know what I'm talking about. They like the Warner Brothers stuff, but this is fantastic. Apparently they recorded it, and he took the tapes away, flew back to America, mixed it, produced, mastered it, sent it back, and they were just like, oh my God, we sound so wimpy. Well, that wimpy made you a bunch of money, which unfortunately was stolen by their manager, because 2 of these guys ended up hanging themselves, but because they were poor, because their manager stole their money. But Todd Rundgren did his job. Ooh, we're getting deep in the weeds with that one. Oh, and the last one from Badfinger, then the other one I want to show is Ass by Badfinger, because this is great. Because if you put them all together, and Todd produced this, it's the previous album was Straight Up. This is Ass, so it's straight up your ass. Clever little British boys. Anyway, so then who else would Todd Rundgren do? He's doing all these classic rock bands. You know who would be great? I need to do Mr. Butler. I'm going to do the Psychedelic Furs. What? Yeah. Forever Now, Psychedelic Furs. This is Todd Rundgren production. And if you don't like the song Love My Way, do you see that long pause? Because I don't friggin' know what to say. My God, it's so good. I love the Psychedelic Furs. I love Richard Butler. They're so great. Saw them here in Vegas like, I don't know, 10 years ago. They were 100 years old. They're 100 years great. All right, next. This one I'm going to show. I think that hit my guitar. That was crazy. This one, simple. New York Dolls. I already told the story in my previous video of how Sylvain said he loved him. No need to go into it further. This is a great album. Todd Rundgren produced it. Good for you, Mr. Rundgren. All right. Next. This one people might not know about. He produced the Lords of the New Church album. Now this is the 12-inch single for Live for Today, which came from that album. But yeah, Mr. Rundgren and Mr. Baders apparently got along fine. So Mr. Rundgren's getting along with all kinds of people. He's getting with New York Dolls and New Church and Stiv Baders and man, I love the Lords. We kind of know what happened to Stiv. My friends and I kind of got the inside skinny, but I can't say it on national worldwide streaming. All right. Next up, this is a great power pop band. Great band from the 70s. They were really awesome. They really put out some good stuff. Mr. Rundgren ended up producing them, and this is called Party of Two, which is really just an EP, but it's by the Rubinoos, and the Rubinoos are great. You guys need to listen to the Rubinoos. If you like anything in the, I don't know, Big Star, anything power pop, raspberries, 70s, just listen. It's great. And Mr. Rundgren had a big part in doing that. Look, 5-cut mini LP. I call that an EP. They call it a mini LP. That's called marketing. Well done. Okay, next one. Another band like Badfinger, who, when they listened to the production of their album, said, "I hate you, Todd Rundgren. Why'd you do this to my music?" But I think we can all agree that despite the protestations of Badfinger and protestations of this band, this album's pretty goddamn good. We're talking about Skylarking by XTC. It's great. And the production is super great. So they can bitch about it all they want. I don't care. This sounds amazing. Grass, the song Grass. Oh, I love it. Now, when the album came out, obviously there was a song left off, which was Dear God. And then, of course, Dear God was a single, got out, and was like, oh my God, that song is so popular and a great video, so they had to throw it on the record. So, if you buy this record, you might have it with Dear God. You might have it without Dear God. British, American, I don't know what you're buying. If you can get the version with Dear God, even though it's not like the very first release, that's the one, because that song just kicks friggin' ass. All right. Boom. Next up, Because I'm an Adult Now. Hey, that was a clever hint. This is a CD. I don't have it on vinyl, but I had to include it because The Pursuit of Happiness. This love junk album. It's so good. It's so good. So good. If you don't like I'm an Adult Now, then you're kind of like a square. Kind of like a nerd. Kind of like a, I don't know, you're just a downer, Debbie Downer. That song is great. This record's great. He did another record with them, so Mr. Rundgren kept up with the Pursuit of Happiness. Uh, if you don't know it, pick it up. Just listen to just YouTube. I'm an adult now. The Pursuit of Happiness. Great. All right. Next up, one of my favorite alliances of all time. You got Todd Rundgren, super musician, one of the greatest guitar players of all time. He really shreds on guitar. Fantastic guitar player. Underrated as a musician. Kind of like in the Prince category where he can play everything. Really good. So you take this super great guy and you put him with a cotton candy, young, idol kind of kid. And come up with this. Wasp by Sean Cassidy. Look at that. There's a wasp on his eye. And there's broken glass. That's cool. Like super cool. And rough. This record's kind of great. It's kind of great. I mean, yeah, the kitsch factor is there. But, I mean, he opens with Rebel Rebel by David Bowie. So it's like, I'm freaking going for it. It's like, I will not be, Hey Deanie my entire life. Hey Deanie, won't you come out tonight? By the way, I have absolutely no problem with Hey Deanie. I love that song. Anyway, Sean Cassidy, produced by Todd Rundgren, Wasp. He's got a wasp on his eye. That's cool. You never had a wasp on your eye. And if you did, I apologize. I hope it didn't hurt. All right, next up, last one, and it happens to be a CD because you can't do Todd Rundgren and not do this because one of the greatest songs of all time is on this record. And I only have it on CD, and I apologize. The VC people going, woo. But this is Miss Patti Smith. And this is the album Wave. And this has the song Dancing Barefoot on it. Todd Rundgren produced that. Mr. Todd Rundgren produced Patti Smith. What higher praise can there be? That's about as good as it gets. Dancing Barefoot. I mean, Todd Rundgren, I hope by this video, he just ran the gamut. If he liked something, he'd do it. I think if he liked it and the record company would pay him money, then he'd do it. I'm not naive. But, so this is, I am barely touching the surface here. Mr. Todd Rundgren is one of the greatest musicians ever. He's one of the greatest producers ever. And those are just some of the things that he put out. So I hope you liked it. And if you don't have a lot of Todd Rundgren productions, just get into it. Just do it. And by the way, the first Nas record and the second Nas record are two of the greatest records of all time. The opening riff of just get the second Nas record, drop the needle. I'm not even going to tell you the name of the song. Drop the needle, and it's the best intro to any song you've ever heard, ever. Period. All right, everybody, I'm Harry J, and I guess I had something to say. Pick up some Todd Rundgren stuff. All you be good to each other. And my love and kisses and greatest respects to everybody in Southern California. I live there forever. And you can make it through this shit you're going through. Good luck to all of you guys. I wish you the best for real. Okay, that's it. Harry J. See you next week.